Aha, seems to be working. Right, let me see if I talk to myself. Must be some delay there. Right, I'm assuming. Aha. There we go. Right, I'm assuming I can be seen and heard. Right, okay. I think I can. Aye, hear me loud and clear. Good. Okay, well, the show's not started. Just, oh, you're up there now. Right, you've been moving about. You're up. Can you just sit still and stay up there tonight, right? So I'm not looking down here at you trying to find you. So I know where you are, right? Sit down, sit still, everybody. Unless you're driving. Keep moving. Right, aye, Paul, I'm early, but the show hasn't started. I come on a wee bit early just to check and make sure that when I click the buttons, I appeared on the screen. So this is just call it the preamble to the show. Imagine calling it a show. It's nothing but a load of Scots waffle and nonsense. Okay, anyway. Oh, and Slanjiva, for all of you who are having a little libation along with me. It's only to try and keep the throat a little bit lubricated. As you can hear, I've got a bit of a funny voice going on tonight. I've had a funny voice for about a week now. I don't know what's wrong with it. Feels like my throat's kind of slightly constricted. Stevie reckons I've been hexed, and I'm not sure that I can disagree with Stevie about that. Right, slightly new setup tonight. I hope you like it. I hope you like the new background behind me. All right, slightly different, but I think this is going to suit me a bit better. And I'm going to be starting the intro. I can hardly see my wee clock there. Going to be starting the intro in about 2 to 3 minutes. And once I start the intro, it will run for 4 minutes tonight. And then after that, the show will begin. So while we're waiting on the show to begin, I'll say hello to a few people. I'll have to scroll right back up. And Maverick's Drone, don't know if you're still here, but welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining. Thanks for signing up to subscribe for a month. I know it's only going to cost a couple of quid, but that couple of quid that's nothing to you means an awful lot to me. And the more of you that join and throw me that wee couple of quid, the more I can get out and continue to do what I do, which is nothing really much, but it is what it is. So thanks very much for joining the channel. Right, and I have to keep in mind the time here because I've got to start at 4 minutes, and I think that's in about 90 seconds. So keep in mind the time. Right, Peter, that question may become clear in a wee while. Okay, Ozzy, don't you worry. Sheila, everything's okay, right? There you go. That is certainly one solution to the problem. And in my younger days, when I was a bit of a madman, that's probably the solution that I would have chosen. But now that I'm an old gentleman and a more mellow fellow, that's no the solution that I would choose unless it was my only option. So anyway, right, 45 seconds, and then I've already said that, 45 seconds, and I am going to press the wee button that says intro starting. So, Craig, all will become clear very, very soon, okay? Right, no, this chair is broke, Stevie. If I push back too hard on it, the wee pin pops out and I fall back. Right, so anyway, we're going to go to the intro now, and I'll see you all in approximately 4 minutes. See you then.
best. She used to be mine, and now it's like we never met. Forever leaves fast in the middle of the night. Forever breaks my heart and never says goodbye.
Hello, good evening, welcome to the show, and Slanjiva. So there you go, a slightly new intro, a slightly new background. Hope you like it. Hope this is a bit more aesthetically pleasing to you. It's aesthetically pleasing to me, and that's why I've changed, right? So I found that the background that I had before with my little bonsai tree and the little lights and the doilies was slightly distracting. So I thought, right, let's just revamp things, change things up a bit and get to this. So I hope everyone appreciates it and I hope you like it. Right, Barak Creative Media, I've just noticed your comment there. And it says, good evening, hope you're well. Oh, that's not the one. Aye, maybe it is. That one just reminded me that I've been having quite a lot of conversations with people in the comment section of my recent videos. I'm back to posting a couple of videos a week as well as the live stream. And thanks everybody for constantly commenting and continuing having mini conversations in the comment section of the videos. That helps me mentally, right? Makes me feel that it's actually worth my while going out and making these videos. I don't make much money from it. I don't make any money from it because all of the money that I make in ad revenue, which is not much, kind of pays for the things that I buy to make the things work and that. So, but it gives me all your comments and the conversation that you have, it makes me feel, yeah, it's actually worth doing this. So I'm going to continue to do it as long as you continue to keep commenting on the videos. And it also helps the algorithm. It helps YouTube's data, if you like, data, Star Trek data, say, oh, people seem to be liking this because they're commenting and they're putting thumbs ups, so they must be liking it. I'll just send this video out to some more people. So thanks for the comments, thanks for the thumbs up. Right, now that I've got the thanks out of the way, before I move on to tonight's topic, which I'm probably going to be spending a fair amount of the show on this one topic, because it's an important topic and I will get a bit serious when I start talking about it, because it's not something that should be treated in a light-hearted manner, I don't think. But anyway, I'll come to it. I don't want to get too serious just yet, because there's a couple of things I want to say before we get to that. And there was a question that came up. It was Craig Roy. You asked this question: did you get your new neon sign, Robert? Robert, nice merch, thanks. Aye, this isn't me. I don't sell this merch. I just buy it for myself. If I was to buy this for myself and then sell it on, it would cost an absolute fortune, because it's not cheap. And if I even just added on the shipping, it would be, people would go, I'm not paying all of that. So this is just for me. There is merch available somewhere on my videos. If you look, there's a wee link somewhere and you can click it and you can buy merch. I think, I'm not sure. It's been a long time. It's been since before long COVID hit me, that I set up that wee merch thing. And I haven't gone back in because I'm really not sure what I'm doing with it, because I've forgotten how to do it, forgotten a lot of things since the long COVID. But anyway, right, so Craig asked that question and I thought I would answer it in this manner. I would say, if you look just over there we go, that was made by Jamie Lee Lewis, that's his wife, Stephanie Jane. And Stephanie Jane, there we go, Stephanie Jane has her own Facebook shop, which I'm going to put on the screen right now. And that's it there, Steph Jane Designs. And if one of the mods would like to put the link for that into the chat, I don't know how you do that, but I'm sure you know better than me how to do it. But that's Steph Jane's Designs shop there. And as you can see, she does a lot of wee things that are pretty good. And it's a lot of things that people like to buy, sometimes for themselves and sometimes for... there you go, look, that's another one of the wee things that she sent me. A lot of people like to buy things themselves and like to buy wee gifts. So if you're looking to buy a wee gift of this type, then instead of just Googling it and looking for the cheapest or whatever, why don't you go into Steph Jane Designs Facebook page and get it from her. Now, I don't know if it's going to cost you any more or any less or whatever than one you would buy elsewhere. But what I do know is that you'll be supporting the wife of one of our subscribers here. You know, a guy in our community. So why not? Right? And there's hundreds and hundreds of stuff. And I'm sure if there's a wee personalised thing that you want that you don't see on this page, she'll be able to make it for you if you just... Here she is. I believe that's Steph Jane there. And there's Gmail right there. So anyway, so if you... So that's it, right? And I'm so happy with the wee logo that she sent me. I think it's fantastic, and it changes colour. Well, it's supposed to, I think, if I've pressed the right button. Maybe I've got it stuck on blue. Is it changed? No, there you go. It's going to cyan now, I think. Now it's going to green. I'm quite taken with this wee thing. And there it's going to yellow. So it's a lovely wee thing. And it just plugs into a USB socket somewhere and works. So why not give her a wee order, right? If you're fancying something like that. I mean, it looks to me on her site like she does a bit of everything. I mean, I think is that a PlayStation controller that she's got a wee bits and bobs for, I think. Nice wee key rings. Your missus or your daughter or your granddaughter might like some of that. Your grandson, there's either Boba Fett. I think it's Boba Fett. I don't think it's the Mandalorian. So, you know, I mean, they're nice wee things. So anyway, there's the dogs barking already next door. They go off in one all the time. Right, so I wanted to say that because, you know, Steph Jane sent me that, and I thought that was a really nice thing for her to do. I didn't ask for it, and she's not asking to even pay the postage, so that was really sweet. Right, yeah. You need to work in the slick marketing pattern. I know. What do you mean marketing my own merch, or do you mean marketing someone else's merch? I know. I'm not a marketeer or anything like that. I'm just saying. There you go. Right, so I think what I will do is I want to get to tonight's subject, but before I do that, there's a wee thing for any of you who are creators who have a YouTube channel are thinking about maybe live streaming at some point. I've got this wee thing that does all of these different things, right? It can move my camera in and out, right? It can even move me right in there like that, whoa! And it can switch over to the logo just by the press of a wee button. It's dead easy to work, and it's a thing called it's Stream Deck Mobile, right? It costs about a couple of quid a month to subscribe to it, and you can download it onto your iPhone or your iPad. And that's what I've done. I've got my iPad sitting on my desk, and I've stuck a couple wee 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wee buttons on it that allow me to switch from. Whoops. As long as I don't drop it, allow me to switch from the main screen to the screen sharing, allow me to switch camera angles, like that. Like this, right? So, so I just thought I'd show you that. If it's something that you're interested in doing at one point, that's a handy wee thing to have, right? Okay. So here, Mickey Moo says it looks a bit girly for me. What looks a bit girly for you? The stuff on Steph Jane Designs site you're talking about, or are you talking about that? That looks a bit girly for you. Well, each to their own. I mean, if you don't like it, don't buy anything. Nobody's forcing you into it. I was just making people aware that it was there. Right. Danger Drone, it's me, says, "Hi Rob, I suffer from a fear of heights, so I find it often difficult to fly my drones." Well, listen, don't try wearing FPV goggles then, because that will really upset you. If you think watching it on a wee screen is giving you the heebie-jeebies because you're afraid of heights, you just try wearing goggles. No, don't try wearing goggles, because that will give you the heebie-jeebies, okay? Right, but interesting topic. I don't know if that's a thing. I mean, is it a fear of heights that prevents people from flying in an aeroplane? Or is it a claustrophobia that does that? I mean, because when you're inside the aeroplane, as long as you don't look out the window, you could be on a bus or a train, on the ground. You can always kid yourself on that that's the case. Caroline Tyler RC, hello, how you doing? I'm saying hello, hellos as I see people saying hello. So hello, Lynn, hello to you too. Before I get to tonight's serious subject, which I'm going to get to just in 2 ticks. In fact, why not get to it just now? Let's have a wee think about this. Right, how to start. Okay, let me get serious for a second and talk about a subject that isn't funny. And it's becoming more and more prevalent these days, I think, for a couple of reasons. And that subject is drone pilots being accosted, either verbally and sometimes even physically, for flying a drone in an area where they are legally allowed to do it. Now, you think I might be going to be talking about frauditors again, but I'm not. I'm going to be mentioning frauditors because I think there's a comparison that some people might make with the story, with the tale I'm about to tell you. And I'd like to kind of quash any comparisons between the frauditors and what they do and the way they go about what they do and what happened to this fellow I'm going to talk about. And this fellow is actually one of our community here. And it's Dave Cullen. And Dave, I think, is in the chat tonight, but he said he's going to keep a bit quiet tonight. I've been talking to him for a couple of weeks about this since he first contacted me and told me the story. And I've been kind of trying to put things together in a way that I can relate it on a live stream. See what I mean about this seat, Stevie? It's broken. Right. Dave was attacked and assaulted very recently, and while he was flying his drone, and it left him really shaken up. In fact, he's suffering from an awful lot of stress, and he's actually going to see the doctor about it. Dave has given me permission to speak about this tonight and to show you some photographs and to show you some emails and different things that have happened about this, so that I can try and relate his story to you and find out what the community think about it and what you think Dave maybe did wrong, what Dave maybe did right, what Dave could have done differently, what Dave should have done, if he should have just done exactly what he did, if he maybe could have done something different, why should he have done something different if that's the case. So there are a lot of questions that could come from this, and I think it's important to talk about it. So let me tell you the story. And as I said, Dave's in the chat, I think, but he said that he's going to be keeping a bit quiet tonight, and so don't press him on anything that I'm about to tell you at the moment. Maybe wait till after the live stream's finished, and if you want to contact Dave either through comments or however, then you can do that, and it will be up to Dave to clarify anything that I say tonight that may be wrong, or I may have got wrong, because I may get a few things wrong tonight in what I relate back, because as I said, Dave has been under a really awful amount of stress over this whole thing, and trying to patch the story together by having a conversation with him has been difficult, because there was information that I wanted to get, and asking Dave a question, he'd answer it, but he would also throw in a lot of his own personal feelings, and that kind of clouded and made it difficult for me to get to the core of it. However, I think I've got there. Anyway, so what happened was a few weeks back, or let's say a short period of time ago, damn it, sorry, this chair keeps collapsing on me, I'll need to get a new one at some point. Right, Dave lives in Edinburgh, and Dave, for the past 35 years, has been an avid naval fan, right? Now, I don't know if Dave used to be in the Navy or the Merchant Navy or not. I didn't ascertain that. But Dave has always been, for the past 35 years, Dave is a photographer, a very good photographer. And his passion has been naval ships. And for the past 35 years, living in near Edinburgh, he has gone and photographed every single ship that has ever been into Leith Port over the past 35 years. Since drones were invented or became, able to be used by us hobbyists, Dave, as a photographer, and all a drone is a camera that can go to a higher position. It can go on a higher tripod than we can get, and it can move about. As you know, you understand, it's just a camera. So for Dave, a drone is just another tool for his photography. So Dave uses this website here, which I'm going to share with you now, and this is called. It's if you go into Google and you type in AIS, this is Dave told me this. It's the Marine Traffic AIS, and Dave uses this app on his phone and on his computer to track ships. And you can search, and I'll search in here Leith. There you go, Leith Port, right? And if you hit that, it'll show you Leith Port, and it'll tell you the different ships that are in, and it gives you a lot of information. Now, I'm not familiar with this website, and if you can hear the dogs barking behind me, please excuse them. There's nothing I can do about it. But this website gives you an awful lot of information, and you can type in any port in the world and it'll tell you what's coming in, what's going out, what's where it is, and different things like that. And if I'm wrong, Dave will correct me later on in the comments of this video. So Dave uses that to find out what ships are coming in, and if there's a new ship, one that he hasn't photographed, Dave will head down to Leith Port. Excuse me a second, I'm just going to set up the next wee thing. Dave will go down there and he will take some photographs, as he has done here, right? That's one of Dave's photographs. And this is Dave, I'm really sorry, I can't remember the name of that ship. It's a French ship, and I can't remember what it's called, right? But Dave takes pictures, and you can see there's his signature down here. Shows his photograph, and they're pretty cool photos. So Dave checked his app, as he does every day, and this is a screenshot that he gave me from his phone app showing Leith Port, and I presume that these are ships. I don't really know, but I'm assuming. Oops, right. I'm assuming they're ships, and different things like that. And Dave then decides if it's a day where there's a new ship, or a ship he maybe hasn't photographed for a long time that has come in, or there's maybe something interesting happening down there, he will go down and take some photos. And it's really for Dave's own use. And maybe if people are interested in some of the ships, I don't know if Dave maybe sells a few of them and maybe makes a big long, maybe on that one he could make one of those things that you put up in the wall. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing you it. One of those he could make something that's up in the wall on a canvas or something. I don't know if Dave does any of that, but certainly he's just gone down there, no harming anybody, and he's done it for 35 years. Okay, so that's the background to this. So one day a few weeks ago, Dave checked his website and discovered a French ship that was in there that he hadn't photographed, so he decided to go down and do that. And when he got there, here's where he was, right? So Dave was standing, that's where he was standing, right here, at the zero mark. This is a closed gate. And this is where the ship was parked. I don't know if that... docked, right? This is where the ship was docked here. And you can see the distance is 63 metres. So it's well within Dave's visual line of sight. He's not going to be flying beyond it. And Dave took off and flew around the ship. Now, if you can see here, that's Dave's the flight that he actually took, okay? So, it's 63 metres from here to here. So I'd say it's maybe, I don't know, maybe 80, 90 metres to here. So the furthest Dave has gone is 80, 90 metres, maybe 100 metres there at the most. But the drone was in Dave's visual line of sight at all times. Now, if you look at the altitude, it says maximum altitude reach. So we're looking at 400 feet here, right? I don't know what that is in metres. Well, it's about 120 metres. So Dave is flying eventually at about 120 metres. So I've asked Dave, what was your closest point ever to the ship? And Dave has told me it was 20 to 25 metres. So let's call it 20 metres. So Dave got Dave got no closer than 20 metres to that ship. So he's taking these photos, right, as he does. Right, and I've actually, Dave sent me about 20 or 30 photos of this ship, this French ship. And I'm sure if you want some photos of ships or things, Dave's your man. Contact him, and Dave will show you. So I'm going to show you a very short video now. The video lasts only for 26 seconds. And the reason I'm going to show you this video is this is to establish how Dave sets his shots up. Okay, Dave's doesn't take video of the ships. He just takes photographs. But obviously he has to move the drone into position to take the photograph. So I'm now going to show you a short video, 26 seconds, of Dave manoeuvring his drone into position. It's not the same ship, it's a different ship, but this is how he goes about it. So this is Dave's video, and I'll shut up. There's no sound to it, actually. So if you can see, he's up at, approximately, I don't know, maybe 100 metres there, I'd say. Maybe 350 feet is an estimate, I'd say. And he's just manoeuvring around just to get into a nice position. Okay, so Dave doesn't use any footage, he doesn't make videos, he's getting into position. So that's it, so that's the video finished there, okay? Now the reason I showed you that is to give an example of what Dave does every time. He goes up to a height that is well above 20 metres and positions the drone, the camera, flying camera, not directly above the ship, but slightly off to either to the side or the port or the starboard or the bow or the stern. Listen to me. And he'll take his photographs and then he'll move around until he's taken all his photographs. So that's what Dave does, okay? And that's fair enough. No problem there. He's flying from public land. He hasn't gone through any security gates. He hasn't climbed over any fences, security fences. He hasn't contacted Leith Port first to tell them what he's going to do. He hasn't approached any security gates to tell them what he's going to do. And the reason I'm saying this is because I want to establish that this is very different from what a frauditor does. As you know, a frauditor will go to an area, walk straight up to the security gate, or go into the reception, or find some workers and tell them, I'm going to be flying a drone over your site. Okay? And we all know why they do that. It's to incite an argument, incite a confrontation that they can then film. They're not interested in the footage. Dave is only interested in the photographs. He doesn't care about anything else, just the photographs. To that end, he doesn't approach anyone. He doesn't contact him in advance, because that's then opening him up for them to say, no, you're not, don't come down here. And Dave would, if he went ahead and did it, he wouldn't be breaking any rules, but he would be going against the complicit wishes of whoever he has spoken to. So Dave just goes down onto public land, positions his drone and takes his photographs. And he's been doing it for 35 years. He hasn't been flying his drone for 35 years, but he's been going and taking photographs at the Leith Port for 35 years. He's had no trouble up until recently, and I'll come on to something that I want to say about that at the end of this tale. So, everything was going fine when Dave went down a couple of weeks ago to the French ship. I can't remember the name of it. Dave, if you're in there, in here in the chat, and you want to type in the name, there you go, he did. So it's the Chevalier Paul, I think it is. Right, Dave, I'm sorry for forgetting it. You know what my memory's like today. It's not my fault. Right, so that's the name of the ship. Not this ship here, but it is the name of, I believe, Dave, it's the name of that ship there. Right, either the Paul Chevalier or the Chevalier Paul. So Dave was doing to photograph that, and Dave did photograph that. And while he was photographing that, Dave was approached by 4 French sailors who started bawling and shouting at them, shouting terrorist at him, waving their hands, telling them to stop. Now, they had come onto public land to do this, giving him a really hard time. Of course, Dave, being the good Scotsman he is, just basically told them to fuck off and continue doing what he was doing. Well, the French, as we all know, are not people who like to be told what to do. And it's not funny, and I'm sorry for laughing, and I'm sorry for trying to make light of this, because it's not a laughing situation. Because what they did then is, one of them gave Dave a couple of punches in his shoulder. Dave's left with the bruises there, and Dave thinks he may possibly have a cracked collarbone. So, an argument went on for about 15 minutes with the 4 French sailors refusing to let Dave leave the area. Basically, falsely imprisoning him. Until a Land Rover screeched up, and there was a female officer who shouted something at the sailors. I think it was probably in French, and the sailors then left Dave alone. Now, as it turns out, that the French officer was their CO, and she told them, get away from the guy, get back to the boat or the ship or whatever. However, so whatever happened, they dispersed. Now, when Dave was punched, Dave immediately phoned 999, dialed the police. The police on the other end of the line told them to wait there, and they would come. So Dave told them he's surrounded before hostile French people, French sailors, who have assaulted him, and he's in fear, possibly, of his life. The police told him they'll be there. So, the CO tells the sailors to leave Dave alone, and they disappear. And Dave waits for the police to arrive. And Dave waits for the police to arrive. And Dave waits for the police to arrive. So after 3 hours of waiting for the police to arrive, Dave is really shaken up. He's in serious pain, thinks his collarbone may be broken, goes home. I can't believe the patience that Dave had to actually wait that length of time. I certainly couldn't have waited that length of time. I'd have been home. I'd have gone home straight away. But Dave waited, and the police didn't show up. Right, so I'm going to take a quick break from the tale at the moment, and I'm just going to read a few of your comments, right, and get my breath back, because this is an emotional story, and I feel emotional about it as well, because Dave's one of us, right? He's one of us, and I hate that this has happened to him. Right, so a few of the comments. Stevie says, "Hope you're okay, Dave." I'm sure we all hope you're okay, Dave. And and we'll get to it in a second. Right. So there we go. There's a few comments. Yeah, Dave, your photos are amazing. Okay. Right. Just give me a second to compose myself a bit. Okay, sorry about that. Right, so Dave gets home, and in the late part of the evening, I think it was around 9:45, if I remember rightly, Dave, when you were telling me about it, I think you said about 9:45 at night, the police turned up to Dave's door. Now, Dave has had previous experience with the police due to his droning, and it's Dave has never done anything wrong, but he has not complied with the police telling him to stop flying when he's been absolutely legally all right in flying. And as I said before, Dave is not a frauditor. Dave has not gone out to cause a confrontation. He's just gone out to get some photographs of whatever it is he's photographing. And it's not just ships and naval things that they photographs. It's a lot. He's a photographer, so he photographs all sorts of things, castles, you name it, Dave will photograph it, and he's really good. So he is known to the police because in Scotland, the police are pretty fascist, actually. As you'll know if you've watched the video when they came to visit me, you can see that was not an isolated case, and the attitude of the police officers that came to my door are the attitude of the police all over Scotland, and possibly over much of the UK. I can't speak to that, as I've never had any dealings with the police in England or Wales or the North Island. However, the police in Scotland don't like it when people don't bow down and obey their orders, and Dave is not the type to do that. If Dave's doing nothing wrong, nobody's going to tell him to stop. Absolutely right. Fair enough, Dave. I agree with you. So the police know Dave. So they came to Dave's home. I think it was about 9:45 at night, and they told Dave that they had been to Leith Port and spoken to the 4 sailors. 3 of them denied everything, and one of them had admitted that he punched Dave. They had assaulted Dave. So the police told Dave that they had charged him. They charged the sailor. They asked to see Dave's wounds, and Dave lifted his t-shirt, and Dave showed the police officers these bruises. Now, these were police officers, not police doctors, just a couple of cops. One of them is called PC Hamilton. I don't know his number. Dave didn't give me his number, but his name's PC Hamilton. And PC Hamilton said to Dave, it's just superficial. It's nothing. So Dave's got a possible fractured collarbone here. Distinct bruises. It looks like 3 punches to me. And the police have told him it's just superficial. They didn't get a police take Dave so that a police doctor could examine him, and they didn't take him to the hospital so he could be examined there. What they did do is they charged Dave with reckless endangerment. And they did that because the sailors told the police that Dave had flown his drone within 15 metres of the ship, and their drone alarm warning system had gone off. A blatant lie, as you can see from Dave's flight here, which he recorded, was never within 15 metres. And Dave has sent me the actual log of the flight, the DJI log, which I'm not going to share here. If anyone wants that log, then contact Dave, get in touch with Dave, and if Dave wants it, Dave can send you that log that will show the exact path of his flight. I'm telling you now that Dave did not come within within 15 metres, causing the ship's drone alarm system, drone warning alarm system to go off. It didn't happen. Dave has now been charged with reckless endangerment, and one of the sailors has been charged with assault. Where is the sailor? The sailor is on his ship somewhere in the water on planet Earth. That's where he is. So what the police now have is, rubbing their hands with glee, they have a possible, we're going to get a tick in our box here because we've got a drone guy with reckless endangerment. So, Dave, and let me see if I can get the next wee section up. They went off from Dave's home telling them that he was charged with reckless endangerment and that one of the sailors was charged with assault. Dave was stunned. Dave was still reeling from the assault and still in pain. Dave was stressed out his box, so he didn't get much sleep that night. But the next day, Dave wrote an email to Police Scotland. I'm going to show you the email now. It's a long email, but I'm going to show you the email. And I don't know how fast it will scroll, so I'm just showing you to give you the gist of the email that Dave sent to the police. And this is it here. In the email, Dave's pointing out what the rules and regulations are from the CAA about flying a sub 250 gram drone. Dave's explaining what's legal and what's not legal, and Dave is explaining here exactly why everything that he did was perfectly legal. So there you go. Now, if you want to see that email in full, I'm quite sure if you contact Dave on Facebook Messenger, Dave will be more than happy to show you that email or send you that email or maybe email you it if you want to watch the video back here when the live stream's finished, and you can pause and read the entire email there. That's the full email that Dave sent to the police. So, Dave got a response from the police, and the response, my mind is still boggled at this response. The response that Dave got back from the police when he sent them that email explaining why he shouldn't be charged with reckless endangerment and hadn't done anything wrong. The response was that PC Hamilton's away on holiday, mate. He'll contact you when he gets back. Dave said, well, when's he back? He's away for about 3 weeks. So Dave is now in a situation where he has been assaulted, clearly been assaulted. The police have charged him with reckless endangerment. He's now going to sit and have to wait till, I think you said the 27th of May that this PC Hamilton is back on duty. And Dave's got to sit and wait, stressed out his box, worried that he's going to be arrested and have to go up in the dock facing a reckless endangerment charge, while PC Hamilton's off sunning himself in Corfu or somewhere. Words fail me. I shouldn't be surprised. I've had personal dealing with Police Scotland, and I shouldn't be surprised about this at all. But this one takes the biscuit. I mean, when the police came to my door, there was no assaulting. There was verbal back and forth. And I think they walked away with their tail between their legs. This time, they've walked away. They haven't even walked away. They basically hopped, skipped and jumped down Dave's front path, singing a merry tune of, "We are going to get you, we are going to get you. And while you stew, we're off on holiday." I'm outraged. I'm mad. When Dave was telling the story, I was almost apoplectic with rage that this has happened. Now, I am not going to do anything about this. I'm sorry about that, Dave, other than publicise this story. And I'm hoping that may cause someone who is of a more is going to the doctors. I think Dave said Wednesday. I'm not sure if it was Wednesday or Monday, Dave, you said. But Dave's got an appointment for the doctors. First of all, to get his wounds checked and to see if his collarbone is cracked like he thinks it may be. And also for the stress and the insomnia that he's been going through for the past 2 weeks. Dave can't sleep. Dave's stressed out his box. Dave, he doesn't even want to take his drone out and fly it anymore. He's too scared. He's too scared to take his drone out in case something happens. And that's a crime. And it's outrageous. So if there's anyone, even if you're not of a legal mind, if you're a young, gung-ho type person, you're saying, I'll do something like this, get in contact with Dave. And if there's anything that you can do, I'm sure Dave will be very appreciative. All I can do, Dave, is publicise your story as I have done tonight. And I hope I've made people aware tonight in the chat. And once the live stream turns into a video, I hope a lot of people see it and someone decides this is not good enough and has a look into certainly PC Hamilton and maybe Leith Port. Okay, so that's the story for tonight. And that's the one that the thumbnail was based on. What do you do if you're attacked while you're flying a drone? So the question that I ask is, what do you do if you're attacked while flying a drone? Do you fight back? If you're an older guy like me, like Dave, like most of you guys, we've still got a good bit of a fight in us, but 4 French sailors, young hardy men. What do you do? I don't think Dave put a foot wrong, to be honest with you. He waited the 3 hours. I couldn't have done that, but Dave didn't put a foot wrong there. And yet Dave is still facing a possible. Well, he's been charged. He's facing a possible. What is it when you're found guilty? I forget the word now. It's gone from my mind. Possibly getting found guilty for reckless endangerment. Crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, so thanks for listening to all of that. I hope no one was too bored with me ranting about. Well, I wasn't ranting, relaying that story to you. And if there are any questions about it, I'm sure get in touch with Dave, and Dave will be happy to answer, I'm sure. Remember that Dave is under a lot of stress at the moment because of this. So if his answers are a bit rambling and go off tangent a little bit, understand that it's a very emotional subject for Dave and for me, because this is Dave's part of my community. So bear with it, and you'll get all the answers. Right, okay, I'm going to have a wee read through some of the comments here and see if anyone's see what people have got to say about that. And there's been a lot of comments. I can't go back and read them all, I don't think. There you go. Barak says, can't see anything wrong with what's been done to get the photos. Any confrontation takes away any pleasure associated with the hobby, which isn't nice at all. Yep, keep strong, Dave. There you go. Yeah, Dave, your photos are wicked. Everyone knows it. He did. That was earlier on before I had reached the point. So you got there. There you go. He's. He must be a non-confrontational auditor on UK land. Dave's not an auditor of any shape or form. Dave's a photographer, and Dave was taking photos of ships. Dave is not a frauditor or an auditor. So there you go. Yeah, it's assault on a pilot, but you know what? The police are not going to be doing anything about that. Bicky Moo's talking French. Espèce d'Écosse. So the second word, Scotland. I don't know what that means, but there you go. Happens in Scotland or something. Right. As usual, the comments have gone so fast that I can't follow them all. But there you go. Graham's asking, what can we do to support Dave as a community? I don't know. I really don't know. My bit was to publish the story tonight, and I've done that. Otherwise, Dave has no means to get this story out to anyone. And had I not, with Dave's full permission, published this story tonight, then it would have been another one where police just get away with whatever they like. And it begs the question, how many cases similar to this where an innocent person has been accused by the police of committing an offence, charged, arrested, brought before the court, found guilty, convicted, and has either had to pay a fine or is in the jail now because of it? How many times has this happened? Because very, very few people have the means to make it public, to make it known. You know, I'd say less than 1% of the people that are accused of things they haven't done make it to the papers or the radio or the TV or YouTube or Facebook. So I don't think Dave is the only, this is the only example of it happening. I believe that had I not had my cameras when the police turned up at my door, had I not had the cameras running, I would have been arrested and I'd have been locked up and I'd have been charged by the Procurator Fiscal with something, and the police would have lied, made up their stories, and I would have been found guilty and convicted, and it wouldn't have been jail, I don't think, but I'd have been hit with a massive fine and sanctions. I believe that would have happened. So the only thing that saved me was having a camera, or having the sense to go and grab a camera as soon as the cops started to get mouthy with me. So I wonder how many times has this happened to people. You know, it's very, very worrying. So there you go. The Crafty Carper, excellent suggestion. Carry on flying, Dave. Just buy an action camera to wear and record when you fly. That, Dave, that is absolutely excellent advice. Get a wee action camera. I don't know, maybe a GoPro or anything at all. One of those that you can. I know you don't want to be a frauditor and they all carry cameras. Listen, get one, wear it around your neck, especially if you're going and filming in places where, you know, you've got people like these who are just going to do whatever they like. And the other thing is, and let me talk about something that I mentioned way in the beginning about why I think this has happened to Dave. Well, it's not the only reason. It's not. I think this has partly happened to Dave because since the frauditors have exploded in the UK, and they have absolutely exploded, the police are all aware of them, and security companies and industries and naval port authorities are all aware of. I need a new chair. Are all aware of. Hey, get some tips in that jar and get me a new chair. All of the port authorities, the police, and industrial sites, commercial sites, business sites are all now aware of frauditors and what they do. So as soon as they see someone with a drone, they automatically assume that's a frauditor, right? I'm not having it. I'm going to deal with that. Everybody's been letting them away with it. Well, I'm not. I'm going to deal with it. So that's one thing. And the other thing I think is that I did think a second ago, but I've forgotten what it was now. The other thing is that people have been realising over the past, I'd say maybe 6 months, that these frauditors who have been claiming that there's nothing you can do because I'm within the law and you can't stop me and it's my right, blah, 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 blah. They've been getting assaulted. They've been getting their cameras taken off them and they've been getting physically chucked off of sites. And when the police arrive, the police are like, don't care. People are now more and more aware of that. So they're now saying to themselves, right, I'm just going to deal with this frauditor the way it would have been dealt with back in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And when the police turn up, the police will be right, good on you, well done, and the police won't take any action. And that's what's been happening. And I think Dave has maybe been caught up in that. They've seen Dave, think, that's one of those guys that are on YouTube, those holes who just turn up and want to cause a confrontation, film out anywhere they like. Well, let's go and sort them out. And if he phones the police won't even turn up and they won't do anything. So ha to him, let's go and get him. And they did. They got Dave. So I think that the frauditors have done us a massive disservice, because there's a guy, a photographer like Dave, whose right to film in public has always been there. And he's never had any bother with it. And now suddenly he's getting assaulted, he's getting harassed. And it's not just this occasion. Dave has been harassed. I don't think he's been assaulted before, but Dave has been harassed many, many times when he's been out with his drone trying to photograph castles, ruins, different architectural buildings. For his photography website, Dave has been accosted many, many times. And I think that that's because people now think that everyone with a drone is one of these YouTube guys. They don't know the word frauditor or auditor, but she's one of the guys on YouTube that turn up to cause trouble. And Dave got caught up in it. So the frauditors are taking away our rights, our rights to go out and film in public, like Dave had and has, are being taken away by the frauditors, because people are now, the public are now not deciding they're not going to allow us to do it, even if it means assaulting us, knowing that the police won't do anything. And in this case, it's even worse than the police not doing anything. Not only did the police not do anything, the police have charged Dave with reckless endangerment. So it's the frauditors. I'm not saying that they're entirely to blame, but they are a massive, massive part of it. Okay, so anyway, so that was my entire one agenda item tonight. Oh my God. The neighbours are going wild. Right, so that was my one item agenda for tonight. And I'll have a look at it. Oh, Doco, I seriously hope you're kidding on. I hope that's a joke there when you say DJ Audits gave you a keyring so he seems all right to you. Are you saying, do you know how much those keyrings are? They're 1 cent. That's how much they are. If you buy them in bulk from Disney, that's where he gets them. Customised from Disney, they're 1 cent. So are you telling me that a penny keyring has been enough to bribe you into thinking that DJ Audits is an alright guy? Really? If you're not having a joke, if you're being serious, then ta-ta, you know. I don't think you're the type of person that we want in here. If it's a joke, fair enough, okay. But it's no funny. Scottish law is different from English law. In a quite a number of different ways. On a positive, we have the Land Reform Scotland Act 2003, which allows us to go anywhere, including on private land if we want. We can go anywhere on private land for recreational purposes. So even if David wanted to go climb over the fence and go into Leith Port and fly his drone, he could do that in Scotland. We can do that. If David wanted to pitch a tent up right beside the boat or the ship and go to sleep in a sleeping bag, Dave can do that in Scotland, right? That's the Land Reform Act, Scotland, 2003. On the downside, we have Section 13 of the Criminal Procedure Act, Scotland, I think it is, 1990, I can't remember off the top of my head, but that is a law which means that if the police ask anyone in Scotland for any reason, there doesn't even have to be a reason, their name, their address, their date of birth, their nationality, name, address, nationality, date of birth, and there's a fifth thing, I can't remember what it is. You are required to give that information to the police, and if you don't, they can arrest you. And you don't have to be suspected of committing a crime. You don't have to be acting suspiciously. You can stop anyone in the street and ask them, what's your name, what's your address, what's your date of birth, what's your nationality, and whatever the fifth thing is that I can't remember right now. So that's the downside And I think that one section of the law is what gives the Scottish police this arrogance, this fascist attitude that they can do what they like. They can go up to anyone and demand that they tell them their name. And they do it in a manner that pretty much leads to an arrest, because they'll walk up and go, "Oh, what's your name? What's your address? What's your date of birth?" And when some people say, "I'm not telling you anything," the police straight away whip the handcuffs out and drag them off to the local nick. I used to work with the police. I wasn't a police officer. I was a civilian officer working in the police, training the police, and I've seen it happen. I've seen the police go out purposely targeting someone before they go out, saying, "We're going to go and get Joe Bloggs because he was dead cheeky last time he was in here." And they go out, and half an hour later they brought him in under the Section 13, refusing to give his details. I've seen it happen. I actually seen it happen numerous times. So although it's good to live in Scotland because we have the Land Reform Act and we can go anywhere, we've got these police who, because of that section, think they are, a way above. Right, Graham, thanks very much. Can I do that? Graham, thanks very much for that tip in that tip jar. That will be going to get me a new chair, right? Because this one's, I've had it for 35 years and it's by its best. So thanks very much for that, Graham. I appreciate it, and my back will appreciate it too. Right, Gingerbread Jack says, "I have seen you do that. You put up about all your sirs and I find it funny." Okay. Frauditors? Yeah. I think you mean the couple of frauditor videos that I've put up you found funny. Yeah, some of them are not there anymore. They are there if you put your VPN on, you can still see my videos. That's a thing I should maybe mention in the last few minutes I have here. The videos that kind of disappeared from my YouTube channel recently. I've just had a wee message in. JJ has just bought me 3 litres of fuel on the Buy Me a Coffee website. JJ, thanks very much for that. I appreciate that. And that will be going towards a new chair as well. So thanks very much for that, JJ. See that? It came in a wee alert. Cheers. That was nice of you. What was I saying there? Can't remember. Can't remember. Aye. Although the videos have disappeared, if you're in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, you wouldn't be able to see them anymore. But if you have a VPN and you switch the VPN on, then those videos will magically pop up and you'll be able to watch them all over again. So thank you, Gingerbread Jack. Yes, they are funny. Oh, see what I mean? Particularly the one with DJ Fraud. I think it's funny because he's in the studio and we do a bit of banter back and forth. You can watch that video if you have a VPN. Just turn it on and then go to my channel and I'll look and you'll see it there. Right. Stevie says, "It says a lot about the French Navy if they feel threatened by a sub 250-gram drone. God help them if they go to war." You know something? The French were supposed to be our old allies. We're supposed to be allied with the French and we're supposed to think as one. So I don't know what they were doing. Davey says, "Try flying your drone above Inverleith car park in Edinburgh. They made me feel like scum." Well, tough, sad in the base. This is it. The problem that we have, Davey, is that people are now more and more aware that if they take, let's say, if they overstep the bounds of their own personal authority and give you a slap and take your drone off you, when you call the police are probably not even going to turn up. And if they do, the police will be on the side of the person that is taking your drone off you. And then people are starting to know this. And that's all because of the frauditors, but it's affecting us. And I said it over a year ago. I made a video on my other channel, remember the other channel? I made a video saying, at the end of every video, I said that you have to understand, to the frauditors, I was talking to them, you have to understand that if it affects you, it affects me, and they're going to take your rights away, so they're going to take my rights away, and that's what's starting to happen. You know, the protections that we had as photographers and no drone flyers, but the protections that we had as photographers to photograph in public they're not necessarily being taken away now, but the public, the people are taking our rights away by taking our cameras off us or stopping us from filming, knowing that the police won't do anything about it. Right, anyway, so there you go. That was one, can you believe that, one agenda point tonight? One agenda point. So before I finish up, Dave, I'd like to say to Dave, thanks again for giving me your permission to tell your tale and allowing me to post all of your pictures and the emails and different things like that. You will, I know, keep in contact with me to let me know how this goes, and you'll let me know all of the updates. And when there is an update from Dave, once PC Hamilton comes back from his happy holidays, I may not do a whole hour on it, but I will certainly speak about it again on the live stream. Now, I may actually make a video about this. I know I've spent an hour here, but I don't get a lot of viewers on my live streams, and I think this is a subject that is absolutely worth making a video about. So I think I'm going to make a separate video about this entire subject. I'll check with Dave. Dave, I will check with you on Messenger to make sure that you are happy with me to go ahead and do that. I'm sure you will be, but I will check with you first. It will be a couple of weeks down the line before that happens, and I may even wait until Hamilton's back from his holidays and we've got an update, and then I can add that into the video. So maybe in 3 weeks to 4 weeks time, I'll do that. So thanks, Dave, for that. Thanks everyone for listening to me tonight. And if you're still here, I don't know how many viewers are here, but you're still here. Thanks for sticking with me. Watch out for my videos during the week. There's a few coming in. I'll see you next Sunday night, and hopefully it'll be a happier subject I'm talking about. So thanks a lot. See you next Sunday.